Well, good morning. It's Tuesday morning, and yeah, so far my Rogen experience hasn't got off to a great start. I did set off yesterday evening as planned, just before 7. But I was coming round here and it was just ridiculous. The wind picked up again, and I was really worried about capsizing the canoe. So I had to quickly just bail into this little area here, and I made a camp up over there, which is near some huts, but there's nobody about, so I didn't really have much choice really, because all of this is just all thicket. So I set the alarm for 5:30. It's now 6:10, just turned, and I'm going to try and make some headway whilst it's calm. Made it to the wind shelter 7:30, and there's no one else here. Oh, that was quite a strong paddle. It's still, I mean, it's been pretty calm actually, I think, by all accounts, or by all news. I am not used to paddling on large lakes, that's for sure. I mean, prior to this trip, probably the biggest thing I've been on is Hickman Broad, which is obviously little comparison. So yeah, I have found it a bit of an experience, to be honest. But it still looks very calm, so I'm learning things all the time. Obviously, good idea not to keep too close to the shore. So, found it out yesterday, and obviously if you go out a bit further, that's usually a little bit calmer. It's something else I've learnt this morning. So yeah, so all in all, it's been a rather humbling experience so far. But I think I'm starting to get the grips of it a bit. Which is just as well, because from here I'm not planning on staying here. This is just somewhere just to stop and use the loo really. There isn't any white horses yet like there was yesterday, because as the conditions are at the moment, if I get to the end, then all the way back up the other side it's A, going to be a tailwind, and B, I should be on the leeward side, because coming up this side I am in the full force of everything. So this is obviously the worst side I could possibly be on. So yeah, but yeah, that's just how it is. Anyway, beautiful spot. So if I had to turn tail and come back, I could easily kick around here for a while. Yes, I apologise for the lack of canoeing footage on this section, but given yesterday's experiences, I have packed all my camera gear away. Oh, I am progressing further south. Yeah, see, I found a nice little beach. And because I've been up on my knees virtually the whole time, crouching, just to keep my weight lower in the canoe and, more stable, better balance. My legs were getting a bit stiff, so I've just stopped here. That bit there, that's all one island. And we look at it on a map, it's in the shape of a letter E, capital E. And the other lake that I want to get to, it's just around the back of this island. I mean, if it was calmer, I could probably just skirt across there, because that is quite narrow, but I don't want to put the canoe sideways against the waves, because that would be asking for trouble. So I'm going to just carry on going south, and yeah. But when I came past this island here, just being out of the wind and in the lee was, wow, that did feel bloody nice, because it is a paddle and a half. But yeah, Ray came here for a big paddle, so and a big paddle is what I've got, so bloody hell. But once I hit the bottom, it's just then a matter of getting all the way back, isn't there? So who knows, there could be a moose out there looking at me as we speak. Shh. Wow, I have reached the most southern tip of Lake Rogen. It's been a paddle. It's been a big paddle. Oh dear, headwind all the way, and what feels like a fairly strong undercurrent as well. So I'm now at the wind shelter. You can see in the distance. I'll show you a proper view in a minute. I'm now going to have some dinner In fact, that's just gone 11 o'clock, so I've been less than 4 3/4 hours to get from where I was to here, and including those 2 stops as well. So I'm quite pleased with that, all things considered. So yeah, I have some dinner now, some coffee, and if you've watched my channel before, you'll know what sort of luck I have with the wind. So I think I'm going to start heading back. As tempting as it would be to stay here, because that's a lovely spot, but I think I'm going to head back to the cabin by the Lake Bredåsjön. Because at least then I'm halfway back. Well, yeah, not quite, but I am further back. So if the wind does change direction, you know, because if I woke up in the morning and the wind is suddenly blowing 180 degrees, I will be very, very peed off, to say the least. But I mean, look at this view. Look at this view. This is what the middle of nowhere feels like. Amazing. So here's the wind shelter. These are all much for muchness. And the thing that makes me wonder is they've all been facing the same way, which at the moment the wind is blowing straight into them. Stands to reason that the wind must be blowing the opposite direction a lot of the time, because otherwise they wouldn't have put these this way round. So that's my reasoning. But they all come with a fire pit. You've got a nice grill there to put your steak on, or your fish. Selection of wood. There's a big heap of wood here as well, which you can cut up and use. That's all standing up so that it keeps dry. And I've not seen this before, but wow, well, just in case it's a bit cool, there's a really nice hut here, complete with wood burner. Wow, and a clothesline up the top there to hang all your wet gear. Selection of bits and bobs here, bits of firelighting cloth, there's a glove. They really light on, don't they? Some firewood under there, some kindling there. Yeah, no, this is above and beyond, isn't it? And they all come with their own little selection of bits and bobs in as well. Little dustpan brush there. Yeah, the other thing is, I've got to mention, they all come with an axe, a bush saw. This one's got a frying pan in it. And of course they have 2 or 3 signs tell you where you are and what's happening, and loads of graffiti. They all seem to be much the same, but they're all often, these are quite old. There's one there from '93. Ah, hello, I'm back. Right, I'm now leaving the wind hut south of the lake. So as we're paddling at the moment, it rather feels like somebody's just strapped a 5 horsepower motor to the back. I'm not putting a lot of effort in, and we are ripping along. So we've got a tailwind and probably a good current, or undercurrent I should say. Hoping anyway, so the wind has picked up. Quite amazing terrain in this area. I'm sure you would appreciate it with that camera, but maybe I'll stop up here a bit further and get a few photos. So I haven't got the microphone attached, so there's a bit of wind noise and paddling, unfortunately. We'll have to call that atmospheric because I'm not risking the microphone as yet. Not until I'm somewhere a bit safer. looks like we're in the middle of a lake. All of a sudden you'll come up with a section where there's just loads of rocks, and there'll be some rocks breaking the surface. Yeah, you'll just be paddling along, next minute your paddle's banging onto the rocks. Quite bizarre. So you've got to be on constant lookout for any sort of brownish shapes in the water, because the wind is picked up a fair bit. As much as I like a tailwind, I don't want it to be too severe. Ah, well, just under 2.5 hours later, I'm at the cabin I want to spend the night at. Bredåsjön. That was a good paddle with the tailwind. I mean, it really helped massively. It got a bit exciting at times, but yeah, I've never surfed in a canoe before, so that was a bit of a new experience. But anyway, I came in right round there, and you had a dog leg all the way around here. And I started following this channel. I really thought the map had gone wrong. But as I came down here, I mean, this is just talking about a magical location. Yeah, we got a little, there's a river there, so there's just a little rapid with the water rushing in and a footbridge. So I got there and I'm thinking, God, I can't see anything. This map must be wrong. But as I ditched the canoe down here, and I saw a roof. Oh, look at this. This is like something out of Alice in Wonderland. Oh, a refuge. I noticed the felt. Yeah, but look at this place. And yeah, nicely decorated. I mean, this is like paradise, isn't it? Absolutely wonderful. And then here's the cabin, complete with deer antlers, loads of ornaments, saw, chopper. There isn't a lot of wood here, that's the only thing I would say, but there's enough. There's 2 pieces there, and I was panicking, but I noticed that there's some already chopped up underneath there, so I think that'll do me. Got a kitchen table. I may even sleep in here if nobody else turns up. Hopefully they won't, so I'd like to enjoy this place. I know it's selfish, but I've paddled a bloody long way today. That'd be nice to just chillax. And I'm wondering whether there's any trout in this stream. Might be a candidate for getting the fly rod out, but yeah, so I'm well chuffed I found this place. This could not be any better. Yes, so I was saying I follow this chap called Bertram who makes some incredible bushcraft videos. He's a Danish guy, he never speaks. I have heard him speak on somebody else's video once, but generally he doesn't speak. But does some really good stuff. And yeah, must have been 18 months, 2 years ago, I saw him make one of these saws. And I thought, That looks jolly nice. Maybe I could make myself one. So I watched a video and then yeah, basically I copied what he did. Pretty good. So I carved this out of oak and you just assemble it with two little wooden dowels, and then the same in this end. This little dowels go in the end. Yeah, so just look at a bit of thin paracord on here, and then yeah, wind it up, and that puts the tension on it. Yeah, so that's just a natty little saw really. It's very light. It doesn't weigh a damn sight. And I thought I'd bring it along. I found this laying at the back of the shed, so it'd be nice to have a nice piece of timber to work with. But this is very old and dry and hard, so it won't be the easiest to cut. And voila, there we go. It does work. So Ray, what are we cooking tonight? I've still got half an onion left from the other day. So I'm going to use this up. And I've got some good old corned beef. So I'm going to mash that in with that and sort of make a bit of a corned beef hash. I've also still got 1 or 2 potatoes left, so I'm going to chop those up into really small pieces. I've got a tin of peas, so that can go in the mix. And I've got some garlic cloves left, so I'll whack some garlic in as well. That'll jazz it up a bit, won't it? Corned beef hash, French style. Does this ever happen to anybody else? I've managed to pick up, if there's a dodgy thing on the supermarket shelf, I always seem to manage to pick it up. Be it the rotten apple, you know, something that's been mullered, it's out of date. With my corned beef, I was particularly careful to make sure it had the bloody key, which it did. What I wasn't prepared for is whatever machine has put the gauges in hasn't done it right, because all it does is just keep snapping the bloody thing. I had about 3 attempts at it. I've resorted now just to stabbing it with my knife and try and get the bloody thing apart. Absolute nightmare. So I might have to tidy it up a bit, but I'll be right. I was going to mash it up anyway, so. Right, stick some olive oil in there. Oh, that was a bit heavy-handed. The hardest thing with corned beef was working out what bits should be in there and what bits shouldn't be in there. I'm not the world's biggest lover of corned beef, but you know, it does our job, doesn't it? Right, I think we've got most of it out. It's a bit of a mess. And the enhancement 20 mil. Some really nice sea salt. And some pepper. And what should we jazz it up with? A bit of yes, I think we'll have a bit of oregano in there, I think. Nice sprinkling of oregano, there we go. I bought that off Amazon, but you know, it was really cheap, but does the purpose. It comes with all the little glass vials and everything. Times like this you wish you had a large frying pan, but when I'm walking that long portage at the other end of Rogen, that's when I will be glad. I'll be glad I haven't got a large frying pan. Because that'll be something else to bloody carry. In fact, what I will do, I might can do it here later on. I might do what did you take to Sweden, Ray video. Show you all what's in my bags. You can all have a bloody good laugh. But when you're thinking of all the different scenarios and all the different things that can happen, and you know, there's some of the bits I've brought and haven't used, I may have had to have used them if some of the circumstances were different. You know, and the trip isn't over yet, is it? Unfortunately, these tranches aren't. I've made a bit of a mistake here because I'm trying to save weight and not bring the full kit. But when you only use this little square piece, you can't get the simmer ring on because it won't fit inside. So that's a bit of an error, but never mind. At least I can manufacture something by sticking it in the side, so that works. Yeah, it's been a hell of a day today, really, because last night I had to abandon ship again. So I had 3 times I had to abandon the journey, basically. And yeah, and I just found somewhere, you know, it wasn't ideal, but anyway, I found somewhere to set up. But when I was lying in bed and I could hear the waves crashing against the shore, and I could hear the wind blowing, I really didn't think I'd even get down here today, to be honest. But I knew my best chance would be to set the alarm ready, so I set the alarm for 5:15, and I've got pretty much everything ready as much as I could in the bags last night. But yeah, so I just had a very quick coffee, banged everything together, jumped in the canoe, and off I went, because it was very still. Well, it wasn't a mill pond, but you know, it was, as far as Lake Rogen goes, it probably was a mill pond. I don't know whether that ever becomes a mill pond, to be honest. But, so no, I was bloody dead lucky, and to get, you know, I was happy just to get to the first wind shelter, but then to get to the one at the bottom as well, and have enough time to get back here. Yeah, brilliant. I mean, in some respects that would have been nice to spend the night in the wind shelter down the south, but I'm just so paranoid about the wind, because it does seem to mess up a lot of my journeys. Yeah, if the wind changes against me, I'm going to be stuck. You know, I only want to be stuck right at the bottom for God knows how long, not being able to get back. And I mean, even here, things can, you know, the next 2 days, so tomorrow I'm going to swing round the corner and I'll go right to the Norwegian side, and I should probably spend a night there, and then the next day I'll then got to go all the way around that headland and back to where the portage is. So, you know, there's still time for that journey to become very, very difficult or even impossible. You know, I have become a bit, you know, I was a bit more confident in the canoe today, because it did get quite choppy at times on the way down there. I had a very strong headwind, and on the way back, of course, I had a pretty strong tailwind, which, you know, I haven't experienced that on a lake before. So you know, and that feels very odd when the canoe's just getting picked up and sometimes turned around, you know, in the swell, because it was getting pretty choppy, you know, a couple of times. I won't lie and say that there's been times where I have been bloody worried, you know, because if I capsize that thing, it's going to be bloody bad news. I mean, I've got a life jacket on, so I'll probably be okay, but I mean, all my gear, God knows what would happen, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it's doesn't bear thinking about. So yes, as I said, it has humbled me somewhat. This is a place not to, you know, this is a place not to screw around in. You know, you've got to take everything bloody seriously. You know, because there ain't many second chances out here. I mean, it was quite windy as I came down. Yeah, before I got here, this last section of the coast. and tomorrow I've sort of got to go out and round, and it's when you go on, whenever you get either a bay or a peninsula where you have to go out and round something, that's when it always seems to get more difficult. Because when the conditions right, you know, I am sort of getting a fair distance. Oh, the other thing I meant to say earlier, Martin, if you're watching, yeah, I think you're right about those seats. The first day I was feeling it, but funnily enough, after a couple of days it's fine. So I think I must have just, my arse must have just got really hard. But the other thing is, I may have, because this is a new one, the seats may be slightly better than the ones you've got. So I shall try and get a picture of them so you can have a look and see. Yeah, all pretty hot. Actually, that is pretty bloody tasty. Yeah, that's not bad. I see what they call it, a hash. It's a right hash. There's nothing, anything there that really had to cook was the little bits of potatoes. So. Not too bad. Perhaps a little al dente. But other than that, right, I'm going to stop and eat this and stop waffling. Forgot to take it with us, we might as well burn it. I used to collect rubbish from all these sites, but they don't do it anymore. So you have to take it with you, and I've got a rather large bag full at the moment, to say the least. Especially as I've been picking up other people's as well. Quite nice to have a little fire in such a lovely location. Something I made up myself, just a bit of salt, sugar and some yeast. I just added some water to it, giving it a bit of a knead, and I'll leave it in the bag, and hopefully by tomorrow night that would have doubled. And then tomorrow night we can cook that and have some bread. Missing bread. Had any for so long. Yeah, it's quite nice. We got a roaring fire going there, that's nice. Oh, bushcraft TV. I must admit that is quite nice to have. I've been here, this is the 4th day. Where did I leave? I don't even know when I left now. I think I left Saturday. So on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days. This is the 4th day, and this is the first time I've really had a proper fire. Oh, my poor feet have been in these boots and these sealskin socks ever since I left home. Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Ever since we left Canoeing. Oh, and they are pretty good, but oh, it's nice to get them off. Oh, fresh as a daisy. They are the ones that I use for my winter cycling, which is why they've got the tailwind strip on the back. I didn't see the point in buying any more. Time for a little wipe, mate. A little wipe and a bit of tug. It's nice to be somewhere where you've actually got the space to sit down and, you know, to do things. Got a fire going. I've been sorting my bags out. Yeah, it's been very good. I'm not sleeping in here because I haven't got any. I would, but I haven't got anything to sleep on. You know, that I did lie on that. That's obviously that's a lump of wood. That's as hard as hell. And even with my under blanket and hammock, you know, that's still hard. So if I had an inflatable mat, that would have been different. I would have happily slept in here, but I keep thinking about it because I could pack all my stuff away, and yeah, I still have a sleeping bag out that's got a go in the bottom, so I won't be any further forward. Apart from the tarp is now wet because it's been raining. But this is, bloody hell, this is a fantastic spot, isn't it? I can't imagine where the nearest person to me now is. Yeah, no. Oh dear. Oh. That's better. I need these still outdoors bags to come into something. Who else takes talc with them on a 7-day canoe journey? I think I had it for one of my last big walks, and I just saw it lying there and I thought that might be handy, I'll take that. As you do. And it has been handy. I've now freshened my feet up. Look at those babies now. Look, oh, lovely. Well, I hope you're enjoying this. I don't know how many videos it's going to be. I suppose the obvious thing is one for every day, which is going to mean there'll be a lot of them. So, but that depends on what the footage is like, really, and the quality of it. So we'll have to see. I think one day not a lot happens, so I might amalgamate that with another day. But you know, you forget. The trouble is, you forget what you've done. So until I get back to the van and get the laptop out and download it all, I won't really know. And the other thing I bought is my little waterproof canoeing slippers. I haven't used them at all on the canoeing side, but they will be handy now for just giving my feet a change. Might also have a little camp tour. Fire and cabin of my gear. There's a myriad of footpaths lead from here. But got Alley Boy there. Up here was my regular sleeping stuff, so got my 3 metre DD multicam tarp, my multicam frontline hammock, and the it's wonderful underquilt. Oh, so warm. Yeah, so that's all there. I use these whoopee slings and with these little tree huggers. These work really well because that stops any water running down those. And I've got the old Alp Kit 400 in there. I've just put a centre pivot tied back to the tree just to stop that sagging a bit. That was getting a bit saggy. So you can see there's footpaths all over there, and they go up the hill all up through here. What else have we got? There isn't much headroom in this shelter. This is the lowest one I think I've seen yet. So we've got the sawing horse. And down this path here, you can guess what that little box is. Let's go, I haven't been down here yet. Let's go and have a look. See what sort of state that's in. This will be the composting toilet. Oh, that one's got a seat. Bloody hell. Yes. Oh. They ought to stick some air vents in these, really. You see why the stick is there. I would imagine that's there so that you can wedge the door open when you're using it. So yeah, so the stick there. Yeah, hold the door open. A bit of fresh air. Anyway, that's about it really. What else? Oh, there's one up, and we got little linen line here, which I'll use to air my sleeping bag. So linen line there. That's the old chopping block. Lots of ribbons in the. I mean, this is a bit of a samurai thing, so I don't quite know what somebody's put them all there, unless this is all done for. Might be done for luck. Let's hope so. And then we come down here. We got the little bridge. So I'll be able to listen to this all night. This will remind me of when I was on the Star trip. Absolutely lovely stream. This runs all the way down from that Lake Bredåsjön. And yeah, I don't know what that's all about. That's a stick with a stone on top. Nice little ornament. Right then, that's it. So, camp tour concluded. Thanks for joining me today. Good night. I'll see you in the morning.